I'm sat with Dr. Adrian Long, who's Senior Lecturer in New Testament at the University of Gloucestershire, and I thought it might be quite useful to ask him a question that I answered on another video very badly, I thought. I thought it might get someone who knows more about it to come and answer. And the question was one that had been sent in to us by a school, which was, to quote, "Do you get into heaven through faith or just good actions?" Adrian.
Good question. Assuming this is particularly about Christianity, then this is a question that has divided Christian thinking. In fact, you could say that this is one of the root causes of a lot of the divisions between denominations. I'll answer it from a particular perspective. I'm a New Testament scholar, so I'll look at the particular, what I consider to be the New Testament perspective on this. And I think the first thing to say there is what's getting into heaven. Actually, the New Testament on the whole is much more concerned about believers getting into God's people and therefore having a place in the new earth, in God's saved creation. So that the whole idea of going to heaven is a little bit of a red herring from a New Testament perspective, though obviously it's been developed in Christian tradition. How you get in to this new heaven or new earth or whatever is, again, from a New Testament perspective, really quite straightforward. I think there's pretty much agreement across the New Testament that it is by grace and not by works or acts. So a classic statement of that would be in the letter to Ephesians, where Paul, assuming Paul wrote the letter, says, chapter 2, verses 8 and 9, it's by grace you've been saved. This is a gift from God. It's not by works, so no one can boast. And it's a pretty categorical statement. Now, some people would say that Paul is not quite on the same page as someone like James, who has an emphasis on good works. But actually, I think if you read both of them carefully, what you'll see is they're both concerned with Christians being in Christ, that being something that God has done through grace, and then living out that state of being, new creation, being transformed, part of God's new community, living out that by doing good works that fit. So again, in Ephesians 2, in the next verse 10, Paul talks about doing good works that people have been created in Christ to do. So very much about the emphasis is on God's action, God's gift, grace, and then that being reflected in what people do.
So the good actions are a fruit or a result of being saved,
Absolutely.
not the means by which we achieve it in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I might even slightly understand it better now than I did before.
Well, I've achieved something then.
Yeah, thank you.